welcome to Kirsty Does Stuff. I'm Kirsty and I'm at home in Edinburgh and the temperature is 31 degrees. 31 degrees Celsius in Edinburgh in May is not too shabby. But we're in the sun lounge just now, so I'll step outside. Today, what I thought we'd do is have a look at the other things that are showing off in the garden just now. Now, one of my favourite plants, you're probably saying, everything's your favourite plant, but one of my most favourite plants is the Clematis. And I've had a love-hate relationship with them for years. Sometimes they amaze you and sometimes they just disappear and die. So I'm sitting with the sun in my face now. That wasn't a good move, but I'll walk you around the Clematis that are looking gorgeous in the garden just now. And I'm afraid I don't have any names. I could look up similar online. Labels seem to just disappear in my garden. But we'll start over there and we'll move our way around and I'll show you what we've got. So we'll start here with these lovely two-toned ones, and I'm afraid I couldn't find a label for them, but there's quite a few different kinds of clematis that have this colouring or shades of it. There's one called Nellie Moser. I think there's one called Picardy, something like that, but it certainly is very striking. Now you can see on this plant, did I just see it? Yeah, there's one. We've had a bit of clematis wilt this year, where you get the buds, they're looking like they're just about to pop, and then they disappear. Now I don't know if that's due to, I didn't actually start watering the garden proper until a few nights ago. And I think the containers can get quite dry, even if it's been raining. Maybe the rain misses them, something like that. So I think maybe that's something to do with it. But it's always a bit disheartening. I've got another plant that's stunning that also is suffering from a bit of clematis wilt, which isn't the best. But we'll just go with it and concentrate on the colourful side. Next, right next to it, and just coming out today, is this lovely pink chap. Now, again, afraid it's a no name. I did keep the tags for a while actually, but I think they must have just blown off over time. And it's a beauty. That's the only flower out on it at the moment. This isn't, I've got these little stands here. There we go, in this container. And this one seems to be a more dwarf variety, whereas this one's going mad. So always something to bear in mind when you're choosing your clematis to go into pots. Now this one is just gorgeous. I've had this one in here for a while and I always top dress it and hope for the best and feed it, but this year it's just glorious. Could be Rouge Cardinal, not sure. Niobe, maybe that's one as well, that's this colour, but it's just stunning. I'm trying to show you that flower there, there it is. So we've got lots of buds on this guy. He's doing very well. It's just by the back door. It's just a beauty. Lovely. So now move to here.
Hey.
This is Joe.
Oh, hello.
Right, now this is just come out as well, and I think the flowers are smaller than they're meant to be. They're really quite small. But again, another big terracotta pot that could have easily dried out. What's that down there? That's a different one. So there's lots of foliage on it. It's looking quite lush, so hopefully future flowers will be slightly larger. But a beautiful colour, and they've got that sort of big fat centre. I don't think it's a double, but it's got the big fat centre. And it's right in a very sunny place, so I'll make sure it gets water every night, and hopefully we'll get more of a show from that one. Now this is a bit of a sad tale, because I bought this beautiful clematis just in a supermarket, put it in the middle of a pot, surrounded it by gorgeous lavender. It looked amazing, and then the clematis flowers just went. So this isn't a reflection of my gardening skills, honestly. Or it might be, I don't know. But yes, it looks a bit sad just now, whereas it did look glorious not that long ago. I'll show you. There we go, surrounded by beautiful French lavender, and it's just faded away. But hey, it was a young plant, it was good to get a couple of good flowers out of it, and it looked beautiful for a little while. Okay, moving on through the garden. Might sit in my seat again if the sun's gone down a little bit. Now this one here, in front of me here. Oh, it's got a little sad bit here that's died. But generally looking quite healthy. No flowers as of yet. And I have actually kept the tag on this one. So it's from Sainsbury's, and it's Garnas, Clematis Garnas. Don't know, but it's a light coloured one. So yeah, seems to be doing okay. I will report back if and when it flowers. The one behind here also looks very good. That's an older one that I think it's been in that pot a while and maybe had a companion at one point too. Also needs to get his act together with the flowering. Oh, here's a bud, here's a bud. If I go down here. There's a nice juicy bud. That's pretty good. Now, if you can hear some buzzing, that is our, it's not meant to be a bee hotel, it's meant to be a bug hotel, but the bees seem to love it. So I shall show you over here, as long as I don't get stung, because they're very voracious. Let's have a look. There it is. There's one coming out bottom first. Can you see him? I think they make little nests in the tubes and then fill it up with stuff, muddy stuff maybe, and then maybe we see some babies. I'm not sure. They're very busy anyway. And you probably noticed just below that is probably the most stunning clematis in the garden. Wait a second. There we go. Unfortunately, another no-namer. It had hundreds of buds on it, and it took ages for them to actually pop open. And I think it had something to do with, it had like aphids on it. So we did, the bee's going mad now. So I did spray it, careful not to affect the bees, and they started popping open, but you can see the damage that's been done. There's certain buds that we've lost, and this one did suffer from wilt quite a bit. Look at that one. They've been eaten by something, but the ones that have opened and that are showing off are beautiful. Lovely. So we had another clematis to the side here, which has done nothing this year. I can tell you what that one was. It's died away. That one was Pink Fantasy, which is not much good to you. And over here, look, this is what happens. Can you see him? Where has he gone? There is slugs and snails. Just climb all the way up here. They're very cheeky. Right. I'll step over some pots to get to this guy. No flowers as of yet on this. There's some buds coming. Lots of buds. And this one is, oh, I can't read it from here. This Miclite, weird name for a clematis. Yeah. Oh well. Hopefully to flower soon. I'll get rid of that snail. Where was he? There he is. Oh, I don't want to touch him. He's not got much of a shell. Oh. Ugh. Right. Now we've got more pots around here. So these guys are in pots round against this wall. And I think the wall's kind of a trap for slugs and snails. They climb up it and then they munch all your plants. So they're just really starting to get going. And hopefully the good weather and lots of good water will help them. And then we've got this guy who is a cheat, because I just bought him not that long ago. Absolutely gorgeous. I potted him up in with some bedding plants as well, some little petunias, some calabrethias, but stunning. See if I can get the light behind him. Just beautiful. So this is a Raymond Evison clematis. He's a very famous grower in England, and I've got a couple of his. I bought one when we moved in as a kind of treat, and this one was at home base in a half price. No, it wasn't half price, it was 20% off for something outdoor plants. So this one is called, let's see, Boulevard Samaritan Joe. It's lovely anyway, it's subtle, it's beautiful, and it's covered in flowers. I hope I can repeat it. This was the other Raymond Evison I bought when we moved in to this house as a sort of treat for the garden. Flurry, and as you can see, we've got a few shoots, but nothing else at the minute. I've moved it into the sun because it wasn't in the sun before the last couple of years, so I think it suffered that way. Hiding behind there is a very small clematis called Sunset, which hasn't done anything this year, so we'll move along swiftly. I think it might be blocked over here. See if I can free it from its situation. Right, here we have a couple of things I planted yesterday, and the one in the middle was there already, and that did get eaten by slugs and snails further up. It had two lovely flowers that were sort of half of what they really should have been. So the clematis is a double, and multi-blue, that's quite a well-known one. So I think he needs some more love and attention. I put some bone meal in the ground, which I think he'll enjoy. And the one to the side is Early Sensation. I got that reduced in a shop, and because its flowering season is over. But I had one before where in the spring, it was just in a little pot, it was just covered in these creamy flowers. Looked amazing, loved it. And over here, Passiflora Victoria, so a passion flower that's going to be pink and purple. I seem to get a lot of growth with passion flowers, but not a lot of flowers, so hopefully that one will show off. Now over here we have the Battle of the Princesses. One year at B&Q in sort of September, October time, I bought 2 discounted clematis. There was nothing to look at in the pot, but I brought them home. That was all they had. I didn't have a choice. They were like £1 or £2 each. Brought them home, planted them in the garden, and waited. And I'll show you some photos of them on previous years. So on this side, this is Princess Kate. And Princess Kate has beautiful little flowers, but she's just starting to grow again now. And on the other side, we have Princess Diana, which I shall show you in a minute if I can find it, because it's caught behind a rose. This is my wisteria, which I'm sticking to a very strong regime of pruning in February and July. So it's looking lush just now. Okay, so along this wall we've got several different clematis in pots. And these pots have a little reservoir at the bottom, so they do sort of continue to water when it gets hot. And I like to sort of train them across the back fence, so we get a show of flowers right the way across. Right, I fear a bit for Princess Diana. I think maybe this is her, but then the old shoots disappear. So I'm not sure where the flowers, if we'll get any flowers this year. Can't see any new growth. As you can probably see by this rose, it's been really badly infected by aphids. It was absolutely covered, so this has been treated recently. So it still bears the scars, but hopefully the flowers will recover and give us a show. This rose is okay, so Princess Diana is here somewhere, and I might excavate her later, get rid of some weeds and see if I can rejuvenate her and give her some sunshine. But the rose should come through now that it's had a good treatment, and I'll treat it again, and all that waiting about for the ladybirds that never happened, which is a shame. Right, next down here, and just about to come out, is this one. Now, I thought this one was pink, but it's not looking very pink before it comes out. There's lots of buds up this post here. Have a root about, see if I can find the tag. I was so good when we moved in. I tagged everything. I noted what kind of clematis it was when it needed pruning. I'll have a look in my book, and if I find it, I'll write it on the surface. I'll write it on the screen. But yes, so that was another one about to pop. I find this side of the garden a lot less sunny than the other side. Things don't thrive so much here, apart from this massive magnolia which has decided to take off. But the other side seems to get more sun. So I can show you that in Technicolor. Bought the same day from the same place. This plant here, and I'm trying to remember what it's called. Cannot remember. And over the same day, that one there. You see what I'm saying? They like the sunshine. Okay, so disappointing this year. Coming up the pergola, I did a Montana. Can't remember which one it was, but it was slightly different than the usual. And I've got a Viticella as well, a different kind of clematis. So the Montana should have flowered, should be flowering now really, and late April, early May sort of thing. But it didn't at all, and I fear it may have died. Whereas the Viticella is gearing up to do its stuff, which is little purple flowers. Now, I quite like Viticellas. They have lots of flowers, which is great, but they are very prone to mildew, and it sort of takes over the whole plant and looks awful. But up here they've got a very airy spot, and they're not sort of closed in or anything like that, so it should lessen the mildew, but we shall see. And now I've come round to the front garden, and this is full of buds of promise. I've got two clematis that are going up this pole. I've just seen that's been eaten by something. What's eating it? What's eating that bud? There we go. But anyway, the rest should come good, and that's very exciting. I shall look up the names of those ones as well, because I should have them from when they were planted. But we've got some other lovely things. Look at this. Beautiful. It's a dwarf lilac. It's amazing, and it's lovely for the bees and the birds and the insects. And this gorgeous rhododendron's coming out as well. Persicaria in between, which I keep getting rid of well, not completely, because I do like it, but it does take over. I sort of get rid of it a little bit each year. So that is it for this wonderful sunny day. Oh, just want to sit out here and relax now. But clematis are amazing. They can disappoint you. They can be hard work. I forgot to mention there's 3 different groups of clematis. You've got your type 1s or your group 1s, which are your spring and summer flowers, and sort of late winter, early spring flowers. So you've got your Montanas and all the kind of sort of smaller flowered group there. Group 2, you've got your ones that you wouldn't prune your Montanas and your type 1s, because you can sort of tame them after flowering, and then you'll still get flowers for the following year. But if you wanted to cut them right back, you'll probably miss a year of flowers. Your group 2s, you can cut down to the nearest set of buds, because they're going to flower next. They're going to be the sort of now time, really, May, June time flowering. So you don't want to cut them right back, or you'll lose the flowers again. Your group 3s are your late flowers. Those you can cut right down to the ground each year, and they'll come back with vigour to give you beautiful flowers. So it's worth sort of taking a note of what group your clematis is in when you get it, so you know what you're doing early spring, which ones you're cutting back. And so that's it. Hopefully the rest will come into flower soon. If I keep watering the ones in pots, they should behave and give me a beautiful show. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of the garden a little bit, and take care, and I hope to see you soon.